If you're just getting ready for dinner or getting the kids ready to go out for trick-or-treating, take a look at your television. Some really neat drone video from West Toledo and Ottawa Hills today. Mentioning here from our photographer, videographer Todd, that just noticing the colors really pop. And we'll see that the next week to 10 days. Look at those oranges and yellows.
13 ABC's Ben Cathy and Todd Gaertner are in the ground around the flood zone, and they have a dramatic pet rescue you will only see on 13 ABC.
Let's see how much is in my house. What are you doing, guys? Hey, Mason. He was underwater.
He's gonna make it?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be fine, but he had quit. He had just give up.
All the pets are safe tonight, but Bruce Pollock's horses were trapped up to their shoulders in the flooded Trent River.
Under perfect conditions, teams pulled in early this morning, fired up the burners, and kicked off the event's first flight.
Bye, everybody!
13 ABC was able to hop along for the ride, climbing high above the ground. And once the burners turned off, the ride is quiet and peaceful.
If there was people down below us right now, I could holler at them, and we're about 500 feet off the ground right now, and I could holler at them and say, hey, how's it going? What's going on? And they could hear us.
Vehicles with self-driving technologies are becoming the future of transportation. And while fully self-driving vehicles are not yet street legal, it's only a matter of time before they are. And to make sure that drivers are comfortable, they're giving you a chance to get behind the wheel and see what it's all about.
We have some very unique and outstanding, amazing views over the Maumee River. I want to thank Todd Gaertner for these wonderful drone shots, the 13 ABC News drone. And this is over the Maumee, and check out this freighter, 739 feet long. This is out of Montreal, called the Bay St. Paul, belongs to the Canadian Steamship Lines and headed to the Maumee and the grain terminals.
I'd say the heat has effect on everybody, you know, it makes them more agitated, more on edge.
One goal of the bikes is to make the officers more visible and more approachable.
The police car kind of cuts us off from the community.
We saw that firsthand with the other squad. 9 teams have come from all over the world, China, the Netherlands, and Idaho, here to rural Canada to win a prize. The problem is simple in theory: how to remove a nutrient from this water before it turns green.
The owner has invested more than $1 million in this store in the last year alone. Everything from all new flooring to refrigeration units, and the shelves are all brand new as well. A lot of the items on these shelves are new to the store too.
Carla Nowak with Destination Toledo, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, says what conventions want all the time is a hotel connected to the convention center. This one will be the second, the Park Inn being the other.
And then those plants were replanted around Toledo.
The flowers are in a semi-dried state.
For a number of the flowers, they actually went through a flash freezing process.
It's likely he'll return to nothing when he finally does make it home.
It had got so high the dogs were getting ready to be underwater, so.
Bruce got his wife and kids out by boat, but there was no room for the dogs and cats with extra people on board. Our photojournalist Todd Gaertner went in for the rescue, even wrangling horses in 5 feet of water.
A lot of people are counting on that. In Toledo, Lisa Guyton, 13 ABC, Action News.
You might be wondering, what is this? Well, this is Sleepy Hollow Park, just across from the station, and those are some hungry Canada geese. They almost look like sunflower seeds from that high up. Thanks to Todd Gaertner, our photojournalist, for capturing this video, and he said he'd pay me $1 if I said a bird's eye view. So Todd, I'm coming to collect.
His name is Math Man.
The quote I've been using lately is, "You have to be odd to be number one."
This graduate student at the University of Toledo is serious about numbers.
The museum is one of only several around the Great Lakes that have a truly hands-on display. The Colonel James M. Schoonmaker is one of the biggest draws here at the museum. When it was launched, the boat was the largest bulk carrier in the entire world. She's been docked here at the museum since 2012, and this dock is very close to an old Toledo dock where she loaded her first cargo in 1911.
She looks just like she did 107 years ago when she was originally christened.
City workers are out scraping, filling, and pounding patch into those annoying potholes. Every driver in Toledo knows the feeling of hitting a pothole.
13 ABC photojournalist Todd Gaertner joined Lisa Guyton and Alexis Means as they went through the haunted hydro in Fremont.
I saying our prayers before we get in there. Little, is it Alexis?
It is Alexis.
and Lisa.
Some of the same scenes playing out in Port Clinton, where several farm fields and roads looked more like pools as that water crept closer to real pools.
This road doesn't usually flood this bad. It does flood, but we've never seen it up in the yard and up to the pool.
Ottawa County Commissioners declared a state of emergency as the waters rose and eventually receded as people started pumping more and more water out of their basements, water that seemed unrelenting.
I want to thank Todd Gaertner once again for this wonderful drone footage. Look at that. Trees. Boy, this just enhances the color when it's the orange light from the sunset with some of the orange and red in the trees. But kind of a neat view there. It's Richards Road near Dorr. And there's, oh, look at that color. Isn't that beautiful from yesterday? Even reports of a few people seeing a rainbow with a brief shower in a part of the area. So.
Anne had never stayed in a shelter before and never thought she'd have to. We met her in the town of Oriental, where the NYFD rescued pets and an elderly woman.
My experience is that this has been a taste of heaven.
It's never happened before.
Some of the worst damage was in New Bern, where nearly 500 people were rescued from the flood after evacuations were done.
We drove down street after street after street of snow-covered roads. As Toledoans dig out, the city is preparing to clear the side streets over the weekend.
This creek near Deep Run is already back to normal, but the road sure isn't. Just like in Hurricane Matthew, this and several others washed out. Also like in Matthew, the Neuse River at a near record level.
From the sky, it looks pretty easy. Just go around in a circle. When you see your exit, off you go to your destination. But from the ground, it's a little different.
They still haven't figured out what they're doing because they're not paying attention to all the signs.
The Bauman family owns White House Motors, so they restore cars for a living. Their love of Jeeps started with this military ambulance they found in a junkyard nearly 30 years ago. They spent years painstakingly restoring this one and several others. This Frontline ambulance looks a lot different today than when the Baumans found it in Napoleon.
Mueller says it's just not realistic financially to treat for phosphorus at the mouth of a big river like the Maumee.
We think this should be applicable technologies in any temperate climate, including Ohio and Michigan.
If you win the grand prize for the barley, the rule is you got to bring a product to market within 3 years. For photojournalist Todd Gaertner in Bradford, Ontario, I'm Ben Cathy, 13ABC Action News.
At 352 feet, Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial is hard to miss.
Well, the memorial is a huge masonry structure made of granite on the exterior, concrete in the middle, and then a brick liner.
But for the past year and a half, this must-see attraction on South Bass Island was off limits to visitors. It's been undergoing some much-needed maintenance and repair work, mostly to the exterior layers.
There aren't many left on the road today. This one will be front and center at the Jeep Fest parade and car show. This Super Jeep rides around town in style on a trailer, and today we tagged along. Even though it's more than 40 years old, this Jeep has less than 1,000 miles on it.
It's got 596 miles.
Our camera caught cars hitting deep potholes on Secor Road. They can really do a number on your car.
The ceremonial turning of dirt Monday afternoon means this part of the project is officially underway. Residents of the Larchmont Estates will soon have a new pool, fitness and business center, along with a dog park.
We've been waiting for the community center and the pool for a while now, so.
With the turn of a key, a piece of Toledo history roars to life.
There's not another car on the road like them.
The Shriners Jeepster unit was started more than 50 years ago. The Zenobia Shrine has worked hard to preserve the vehicle's short but important story.
Follow the routes.
The routes are pretty simple. Yield to drivers that are already in the circle, then go right. Roundabouts force you to go right, which is by design and for your safety.
Entering the roundabout in a certain angle and yielding to the vehicle already in the circle.
Reagan is buried here in Northwest Ohio and in the hearts of all those who loved her.
As bad as this is, it still could have been worse. What if the person was never caught? What if She had never been found. We got to have a proper funeral and bury her and honor her.
Today, a big part of honoring the life of Reagan Tokes is about helping others.
It is a bit cathartic to help you process through the pain, knowing you're taking something so awful, so horrible, so tragic, and you're trying to find some good somewhere that will come from it.